Alright, welcome to reading. Let's see what comes through at the time that you click on this video. What it is you need to know for your highest good. I'm just going to check in, read the field for you. Just need to shuffle maybe 2-3 more times and then I'm pretty much set. Yeah, I just wanted to say that I was straight up and picking up on like a lot of irritation, and I heard a tendency of slipping into old habits. It's as if there's like a cluster of energies that you apparently are picking up on that are trying to pull you back into circumstances, habits that are linked to circumstances or ways of being that you've already grown out of, already transmuted. So it feels like a bit of a tug and war, but also it's attaching to like your weak link. It's as if it's like finding your weak spot. So when I'm talking about it's like a cluster of energies. It could even be like an entity type. I don't know how to describe it, but I guess we can call it an entity. Well, it's more like a cluster because there's different energies at play here. So anyway, I'm just going to break it down a bit more. What you need to know is, what I'm picking up on is a tug and war of, I keep getting a sense of circumstances you've already outgrown and don't necessarily want to fall back into, but it's as if it's getting its hooks in to where your weak spots are. So I guess it's coming through as like something that could slow you down if you're not fully aware of what is happening and not shielding yourself the way you need to shield yourself right now. So I'm getting different scenarios for different people, but one is like not wavering on your boundaries. If you've set boundaries, like if you took your time to have those boundaries in place, and it may not even always be easy to keep them in place, to like stand on business. I'm hearing stand on business, stand your ground and don't waver on that. It's one example, so that again there you don't slip into appeasement and people pleasing, and that you hold people accountable for where they are lacking and slacking. So that's one example. Then also there's like a cluster of energy. So again, I mean, makes sense I'd be picking up on clusters of energies because I don't know how many people I'm reading for here, but there's another cluster of energy that like wants to get in your head. So one weak spot or one weak link that they can get the hooks in and then get you to fall back into bad habits or whatever you do that kind of throws you off path or makes you lose focus, is to get in your mind, to get you to doubt yourself, for you to engage, like get you to engage in negative self-talk, get you to do the work that they would normally do by, making you feel bad for yourself, getting you to do that by yourself, basically. So it's quite like, it feels sneaky, and that's why I'm saying it could be, depending what your lifestyle is, depending what you do still engage in and what not, it can be quite easy to penetrate your field. Whether it's through physical beings, non-physical beings, as soon as they sense an opening or a crack, some will just take that chance. So, when you're in this game and you're serious about spiritual hygiene and spirit and spirit, not like, well, I guess if you're serious about, I don't really want to say serious about spirituality, I don't even know what that would mean, but I'm more like about, it's coming down more about this force field that you have been creating and upholding and nourishing, like that does in itself take discipline, and I'm hearing fortification, but it's more that you don't drop the ball. And whoever this reading is for, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, like, you know what happens when you maybe coast for a day or two or even longer. Like, you know what happens, you know what starts pulling you and calling you. It's as if I'm getting a sense, but this may be just because I just watched a documentary where actually I watched a few documentaries, but I'm just now recognizing that there was a red thread where there was like opportunities of getting out of hardship or getting out of situations that are really bad and really dangerous even. But then once these individuals got out of it or had the opportunities, they mucked it up. And for me as a reader, and for me being in the field of work that I am, I recognize the mechanism. Like, I recognize it wasn't only them just like throwing it all away and slipping back into old patterns. There were entities and beings, again, whether non-physical or physical, that were testing them in those moments. And I'm just being reminded of this one guy who was helping them, or had like a tendency of helping people in whatever way they could. It was just talking to one and was saying, well, you know, you can't he was calling it Satan, but that's just a way of describing the energy that's coming through here. It's like this clusterfuck. It's more like interference, or these type of attacks do come in the most when you're actually progressing in a way where they can feel that you're slipping away. So that's just something to be aware of, because this is basically what is happening here. And it may not be as extreme, or maybe it is as extreme. Maybe you as well have opportunities to get out of really dangerous situations. And in those moments when you grab that opportunity, you may sense that exactly these things start heightening: the self-doubt, imposter syndrome, you know, falling back into habits that you've long outgrown. It's just to get you back into a frame of mind where you are easier to latch onto, get the hooks into, where they can then feed off of you, siphon whatever this clusterfuck wants to do with you. So it's just, I guess, for your own awareness as to why in these moments it is really important to double down on your spiritual hygiene, the practices that you do have in place, whatever works for you and you know works for you, that you don't coast in those moments. And when you're part of my Patreon, you will have access to clearing sessions with me, which is also always a great time to book in exactly now, so that we can just fortify your field and strengthen that, so that exactly this doesn't happen. And you can just focus on what you have been focusing on without getting distracted exactly when there's a build-up of like, okay, you're progressing, you're doing really well, and you're close to either breakthrough or just moving over, like jumping over sort of, I don't know if we can call it an obstacle, but there's a sense of once you've passed this obstacle, this threshold, it's like it will be even harder for this clusterfuck to pull at you. And with the clusterfuck, I mean everything that we just talked about, with the tricks of getting you to back down and not, I guess, to make you doubt where your commitments lie, where your loyalties are, what you have devoted yourself to block you, basically, to just stand in your way. So what else? And don't share too much, because not just because someone's being nice to you doesn't mean you need to share everything with them, just be a bit, it just seems like a time to still keep your cards somewhat close, more because there is interference at play here. Like, there's energies around that are tugging and just looking for a gateway in whether they can cause havoc or, again, like we already talked about, hijack your mind, get you to doubt yourself, doubt your path, doubt where you're headed, just to kind of throw you off, because you seem to have been doing really well. Like, that's what I'm getting, this is what I'm saying, this is usually the case. It's not the first time I'm seeing this, where someone is progressing, doing really well, like pushing forward, making moves, which is a reading that already came through. The moves you're making is bringing a lot of unwanted attention. I'm going to link it below, you can watch that as an extension. This is the time, like, again, I'm just going to repeat it because it needs to be drilled into your head, to just double down on what you know helps and works in you having your field fortified, no cracks. And if you feel like you need help with that, book in. This is the time. Because it's not something to take too lightly, because it can really set you back. And this is not to fearmonger, it's just the reality of things. As one was again saying in those documentaries as well, it's like, it can happen in as little as 6 months. You will feel like you're back again 2-3 years ago if you don't crack down in these moments. So that's why I'm just saying, I'm not gonna fucking sugarcoat a message for your own comfort, because this is kind of that time where you're either gonna double down or you're gonna have your weak spots exposed in a way where this clusterfuck takes advantage of it, and you're gonna be left like, well, don't know how the fuck I ended up here, like this was not supposed to be the trajectory. Like, all of you must have stories that you've heard of exactly this happening, whether it's like a relative or someone just not, it does take, like what you're dealing with right now takes willpower. You have the strength card out. It's not like, not a challenge. It is exactly that, is a challenge. It is for you to also gauge and check in with yourself, how easily you get swayed again when you may feel like, oh, things are hard right now, or I tend to do things when I'm emotional or when I feel stressed, that ultimately isn't good for you, and actually opens up a bigger crack within your field where then more things can slip in. So it's kind of just can bring things into a role that really then, when you look back, fuck that, I should have just not. There's something about opening, whether it's opening up to the wrong people, whether it's like indulging in things that you shouldn't be indulging in, because when you do, it exactly spirals into a direction that you don't want it to. So I don't know, for some of you, there's substances involved here, relationships that are no good for you. That's what I'm saying, it's a broader collective I read for on here, so it will be something different for each of you, but as a general, you will know what is meant for you individually when you hear this message, especially when it's meant for you. But on the flip side, if you now power through and you catch it in time, this is where the biggest transformations happen. And actually it's also showing that you are progressing. Like, you wouldn't have this much pushback if it wasn't exactly that this clusterfuck or certain beings, again, whether non-physical or physical, can feel you slipping away to a point where it will be even harder for them to reach you. And already now it seems hard. It's just there's something lowering your defenses. I don't know what it is. You got green eyes on you. You got green eyes, eyeing what you are generating, whether this is wealth, whether this is stability, whether this is a strong foundation. You've got people eyeing that, like green eyes. There's even a book by someone, but I forget the author. But as some practical advice, what you are getting, if you're like, I know I've been slipping into habits, I've been slipping into ways of being that I really don't want to indulge in anymore, like I don't want to put any energy in that. as practical advice, you're getting to really put your focus in what you know makes you feel like good, that brings warmth, that brings joy, while being aware still that there are trickster energies around. Some will play that role, being very warm, trying to get close to you, but still have hidden intentions, and this is where you just need to be aware of what the fuck is going on. And that's where, again, I'm getting when substances are at play, it just fogs you, it clouds you. You don't know, you're more easily, that's a way that this clusterfuck or these entities get you to lower your guard as well, because that's exactly the cracks they can slip into when you're numbing yourself out, when you're under haze like fog. This is the whole game, you know, like if you're not aware of it and you're fucking high day in, day out, you probably don't even know what is hijacking you and like somewhat dictating your life for you. And I told you already, I'm not going to sugarcoat, I'm just laying it down the way I'm getting the spread, because someone here needs to hear that. Like, it is not just a little bit of substance abuse, because this is coming down to, like, I'm getting substances involved here. That's one of the explanation of why there's cracks that this clusterfuck can like just easily slip into. So back to how I was getting this information, that I was just seeing one way certain people get you to lower your guard is exactly in the moments where you're not fully anchored and not fully here, like there's a layer like a fog clouding your judgment, and then under the guise of like warmth or like I'm your friend, you can trust me, and you either put out information that you shouldn't, you tell people about what you're harvesting, you tell them about your blessings. Like, there's just, the main message is to just be on guard right now. Like, if this lands on your feed and you resonate with this, just be on guard. And also, like, it would help you, and again, this is just practical advice, if you want to take it or not. Don't really care about that. It's not, I can't really control that, but as practical advice, you are getting one way you can fortify your field yourself is by just laying off of what does exactly the opposite and opens you up in a way that you're not even fully aware that you're doing, that is happening. So I'm gonna go in with a different deck because I feel like there's more messages. Maybe it goes in a different direction. Yeah, this is why you have a reader like me show up, because this is when exactly these readings help, because you may pick up on things, or maybe you're just fully not aware of it. But if you have someone who generally like has access and sees beyond the veil, this is exactly where I can help. Also with personal readings, because I can lay it out and I will see what you may not be seeing, the blind spots. Okay, this is just nudging me towards a reading I just posted, the last reading. Aquarius, you're meant to challenge this person, because it's just taking me into a love reading. So if you're interested in that, you can head over to my Patreon. It's just a recent one that I posted. And so far I hope this helps. You've had the options laid out, you got some practical advice, and if you want more one-on-one help or assistance, you can book in. Everything is linked down below. All right, see you soon.